So I started a video this morning. Well, I started a project and videoing it, taking that little knife that I had normalized and turning it into something other than, but I broke it. it all should have been foreseen, but it wasn't. So I am going to take this knife and see if I can not break it. Again, first thing I'm going to do is cut it right down the middle with the grinder. And then I'm going to lay out and cut it across into pieces. So basically I'm making working stock out of it because I like the metal. So follow along, let's go. All right, safety first. All right, we got two pieces of broken knife now. Working stock. I went ahead and cut through the handle part too. So I'm going to try and use as much as I can. Don't know how that's going to look, but we'll find out. All right, I laid out the basic shape on some tape. It doesn't really translate well to the camera. Man, I just cut it out. It's going to be a small detail knife because why not mess that up first? And I was recording me cutting it, but I wasn't recording. So you get the idea though. Bzz, 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 done. I'm going to try and file the profile on it a little bit with a file and some sandpaper. I don't know how well that's going to work, but I'm going to try to avoid using the strip sander. So let me get set up and we'll do that. All right, let's get the spine cleaned up on it. Not bad. All right, let's taper it. Okay, I covered it with black marker, and now I'm gonna use this little finish nail and scribe right along there. Flip it over the other way and scribe it again. That should give me my center that I need to aim for while I'm filing, and it does. It's not great, and I definitely need to work on what I think I'll use some Dicam next time, but I don't have any right now. But I have a line, and it is in the center. I have two little lines, actually, showing me where the center is. So let's go with it. We want to get this as close to finished before we harden it, because then we just have to harden it, temper it, and sharpen it. So I'm going to take my time. I'll get back with you. Okay, I got her down to a blade width. Maybe I could have gone a little further, but I don't want to overdo it. I like where it's heading. So now I'm going to switch to so my favorite thing. I'm going to sand it by hand down through the grits until I get it to where I don't want to sand anymore. So I started with some 80, but I don't think I needed to start that high. And this is going to be interesting. The best way to hold it. I want it so that it's secure and not flip-flopping all around on me. So I think, there we go. Because it's such a small blade, this gives me a little more purchase. I guess this is almost like sharpening it. If I look at it that way, maybe I won't hate doing it so much. All right, let me get through the rough grits to where it's a little more refined. Okay, there she is. Oh, that's horrible. Any better? Nah, doesn't matter. There's the knife. The tang, I sharpened it to like 80 grit, but I went through the rest. I went 80, 120, 240, 400, 800, and I finished with 1200. I think I could have skipped a few of those, but you know, I'm learning. It is acceptable to me. All right, there it is. That's the handle. Well, the rough cut handle. I drilled a hole in it a little deeper, and this also has to, it's a little bit undersized than the end of the tang, so I'll really have to push it in there with epoxy and room in the back to expand. And I think that's all it's going to need. The thing is, get it in, get it straight one time. So, but for now, I'm going to throw this in the vise and hit it with the rasp a little bit, and then take it over to the strip sander for the final shaping. I've been taking little corners off and then feeling it, see how I like it. Not so as important, but aesthetically, looks okay. Again, that blade will go deeper. When I sand it, I'll narrow this down even more. But overall, I think it's a good size and shape for what I'm making. So I'm gonna go set up my strip sander. I think I need to put a new blade or belt. And I'm going to wash my hands so that I'm not taking all the oil, because I use a little WD on the final 800 and 1200 grit. So I'm going to get cleaned up so when I sand this, I'm not just making it filthy. All right. All right. 220. That's as far as I'm going with it. I'm going to put this in here again just to give you, again, that will still sit in a little deeper than that, probably another 1/8 inch. And again, I got to make sure it's not doing that or not doing that, but the epoxy will give me a little work time. So we're on to heat treating. I'm going to set this aside. I don't think I'll stain it until it's all done, but I don't know. I change my mind a lot. I'm winging this. Okay. I have the oil on the stove heating. I'm going to pour it into here. That's where I'll do my quench. I'll get you a better angle here. And I have my magnet so I can see when I'm at temperature. I think we're set. As soon as that oil heats up a little more. But when I do it, I'll just walk through it because, again, I'm not good at this yet, so I really got to do something I'm not good at. Focus. I've heard you keep it in the oil while it cools down a little bit. The reason for heating the oil is to change the viscosity. I learned that. So I'm just going to do this for a minute, let it, and then we'll test it with a file. Wait here, I'll edit this out, but I'll get the file. All right, I don't know if I should do this in front of you. It should, yeah. It seems like it just glides off. Huh. Yeah, I think we're good. Okay. We'll let that finish cooling. It's more of those than anything. And I'll get the oven set up. All right. I cleaned it up a little bit with that 1200 grit paper before I put it in. We're going to set it in here for an hour, then let it cool. Then we're going to do another hour. So we're going to do a 2-cycle tempering. I got this thing for $25 at the Habitat store, and I just tested it now. It works. So without further ado, let me push that out there in the middle a little more. I don't think it matters, but it matters to me. So we'll just sit here for an hour and watch it, okay? All right, first cycle is done. We're just gonna let it sit there and cool down on its own. In the meantime, I jumped ahead and stained and did some shellac. And I'm gonna do another coat of shellac here when that dries and start the oven back up and when it's all cooled down. Okay, I got a little ahead. When it came out of the oven the second time, I cleaned off the blade with that 1200 final grit and boop, put it in the handle. The handle, I did the coat of stain and 2 coats of shellac. So that should hold up. So the only thing left is to put some epoxy down in the hole, and that'll be it. We'll have a knife we can test out by tomorrow. So I'm just going to mix up and drip some epoxy in there, let it dry overnight, and then we'll sharpen it. It's pretty small. It's one of my smallest detail knives, I think. Well, one of. But anyway, I'm just going to put the epoxy in and and then we'll be done for the day. Meet back here tomorrow for the final showing. Okay? Bye. All right. I had some pink or some purple pigment left with my epoxy, so I mixed it purple because that's my wife's favorite color. Who knows? Maybe someday she'll want to use my knife. But and then I have these. Gosh, I bought them for something specific. I think it was for a radio I was working on, but they're little needle. I'll show you. Little needle injectors, and so they're disposable, but I never use them because I don't want to waste them. That's silly. So here we go. We're going to inject that way we can get it all the way down to the bottom and work it back up. I definitely got it down in there, and then I'll throw the rest away. And I'll give it a quick wipe around the edge there. But I think it's going to be just right. I'm anxious for it to dry because we could have went through all this and it may not hold an edge. It may be too soft. It might be too hard and not take an edge very well. We don't know. We'll find out tomorrow. All right. All right. For all intents and purposes, she's done. I don't know if you can see that little piece of scrap maple. It's like a tiger maple. It came off an old bed frame somebody gave me. I don't know how well that shows up on the camera. I'll just stick it in your face and then you can see it. So this is 3 coats of shellac and 1 coat of Johnson's Paste Wax. So I'm going to get I use diamond plates for sharpening. And I'm going to try and just do the ultra fine and then strop it so we can get a test on it. So I'm going to spend a few minutes. I'll show you. I have a bunch of stuff here I need to paint from my last road trip. I carved, every day I carved on that trip just to see if I could do it. So now I have a bunch of unpainted, unfinished carvings. But we're just going to run it a few times. I got some I got some of the epoxy on the blade, so it looks duller, but that's okay. I don't care how it looks. I have a lot of blades that look dull, as in not shiny, but they're sharp, as in good for cutting. Does that make any sense? I have another, this is my smallest, and that's because I reprofiled it. So you can see my new knife isn't the smallest. And this one's very fragile for just for certain cuts. But I'm hoping this works. You don't know until you use it for a while. Like, how's the edge retention is a big one. And how well, I mean, it doesn't, as I sharpen it on the stone, it feels like any of my other store-bought knives. You know, it's not, the metal's not just falling off it. That's good. I should probably add, this is Windex. You can use water on these, but somebody suggested Windex when I first bought them, and I've just always used it since, so. And I won't make you, I'm slow, so I'm not going to ask you to sit here with me and babysit while I do this. But I thought you might be curious as to what I'm doing, so. And I'm sure this video is getting long. I'll try to trim it down. Okay, I'll do that, and then I'll bring you back for the stropping. All I'm doing now is just, this is my homemade strop. And just trying to get a, I don't think this is hard enough. Like on the scale, just by working with it here, I don't think it's going to have good edge retention. But until I use it for a little bit, I really can't be positive. So give it a little more here. And we'll see what she's got. All right, she's done. I have a feeling it cuts. And these little knives are great for paring cuts like that. You can see it cuts really well. So my angles are good. It doesn't bind up in the knife. But I don't think it's going to hold an edge. Again, I'll bring it with me on my next trip. Add it to my... I made this one from an old jigsaw blade a while back. And it's got really good... It's very, very flexible. It's got really good edge retention. This one, I don't think it's gonna... And I don't know if it's my hardening. Hopefully somebody watches my videos and says, hey, you know what you should do? Because again, I'm kind of going at this just at my own, my own pace and my own knowledge that I'm picking up here and there, and that ain't much. So if you have suggestions and you think I should do something different or try something different, let me know, because this is just the beginning. I enjoyed the process. Again, it works. Now I'll show you this one. Well, I haven't sharpened this one lately, but yeah, it does nice cuts too. And it's also homemade. So on that note, we're going to give them a place of honor here. I have a lot of my knives are in my travel bag now, so I'm kind of scattered everywhere. I'm going to wrap it up, though. I know this was probably long, and give me feedback. I look forward to it. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.